Welcome to Life Stories, where we dive into tales that reveal the complexities of trust, love, and resilience. Today's story is one of shocking betrayal, unyielding strength, and ultimate justice. What happens when the people closest to you, the ones you love and trust most, turn against you in the most unimaginable way? Join us as we uncover Michael's incredible journey. From heartbreak and deception to a triumphant revelation that left everyone stunned. Stay with us to see how courage and determination can expose even the deepest conspiracies. Don't forget to subscribe to Life Stories as we begin today's gripping tale. Michael lay motionless on the bed, his breaths slow and deliberate, every fiber of his being focused on keeping his body still. The room was suffocatingly silent, thick with the deceit that had unfolded just moments earlier. Across the room, Jessica, his wife of 3 years, stood by the mirror, a wicked grin on her face as she spoke on the phone. "Yes, Mama," Jessica said, her voice laced with triumph. "The fool is finally dead." Her mother, Linda, replied, her tone raspy yet brimming with satisfaction. "I told you it would work. The man I hired is powerful. He's done his job well." Jessica chuckled. "It was almost too easy. Mama, it worked like magic." "Good." Linda continued. "Now, gather all the documents. The deeds to the houses, cars, bank accounts, everything. Don't miss anything. I know where he keeps them." Jessica responded confidently. Michael's heart shattered as he listened. The woman he had loved, cherished, and supported unconditionally was conspiring with her mother to erase him from existence. His mind reeled as memories of their life together flashed before him. The laughter they had shared, the promises they had made, it was all a cruel facade. Jessica's voice broke through his spiraling thoughts. "Perfect," she said. "After that, I'll start crying and call the neighbors. Mama, you'll be here soon, right?" "I'm on my way," Linda assured her. But Michael wasn't as dead as they thought. No, he was very much alive. His stillness was calculated, a desperate ploy to uncover the depths of the betrayal that had poisoned his life. As Jessica busied herself gathering documents, Michael's mind raced back to the beginning of their story. He had met Jessica 3 years ago, a vivacious young woman with dreams of a better life. He had fallen deeply in love with her, entranced by her charm and determination. He supported her through her education, even sending her abroad for a master's degree in Paris. To him, she was everything. Yet, something had changed. The cracks in their perfect picture began to show the day before his supposed death. Michael had come home early, hoping to surprise Jessica with flowers and dinner. Instead, he had stumbled upon a conversation that would alter the course of his life forever. Standing outside their bedroom, he had heard her voice, low and conspiratorial. "Are you sure this will work, Mama?" Jessica had asked. "Trust me," Linda had replied. "Once you add the powder to his drink, he'll be dead by morning. The man I consulted has never failed." Jessica had laughed softly, a sound that now sent chills down Michael's spine. "I can't wait for this man to die. I want my freedom. Mama, I want to live my life." Michael had felt the blood drain from his face. The love of his life, the woman he had sacrificed so much for, was planning to kill him. But even in his devastation, Michael's resolve had hardened. If Jessica wanted him dead, he would give her what she desired, but on his terms. The next morning, Michael had risen early, determined to play the role of a loving, unsuspecting husband. Jessica had greeted him with unusual warmth, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "Good morning, my love," she had said, her voice unnaturally sweet. Michael had smiled, hiding his anguish. "Good morning, Jessica. You look stunning today." She had blushed, offering him a glass of his favorite juice later that afternoon. "You look tired," she had said, handing him the glass. "Drink this. It will help you relax." Michael had taken the glass, his fingers trembling slightly. Before taking a sip, he had stopped her. "Jessica," he had said, "could you fetch my briefcase from the car? I need to show you something important." Jessica had hesitated but eventually left the room. As soon as the door closed behind her, Michael had poured the poisoned juice into the sink, refilling the glass with fresh juice. When Jessica returned, he had drunk the juice in one gulp, feigning exhaustion and clutching his stomach. "Honey, what's wrong?" Jessica had cried, rushing to his side. "Take me to the bed." Michael had whispered weakly. Jessica had helped him to the bed, where he had pretended to collapse and die. His performance had been convincing enough to set her plan into motion. Now, lying motionless on the bed, Michael listened as Jessica spoke sweetly to someone on the phone. "Yes, my love," she said, her tone dripping with affection. "The fool is dead. Finally, we can be together." Michael's breath caught. The betrayal cut deeper than he had imagined. His wife wasn't just conspiring with her mother, she was also involved with his best friend, Ryan. As Jessica left the room, wailing dramatically to alert the neighbors, Michael's mind snapped into action. His survival was no longer just about staying alive, it was about uncovering the full extent of the treachery that surrounded him. Jessica's dramatic cries filled the house as neighbors began to gather, their expressions a mix of sympathy and shock. Michael, still lying motionless on the bed, heard her weaving a fabricated story about his sudden demise. "He came home early from work," Jessica sobbed, her voice shaky but practiced. "He complained about severe stomach pains, and I tried to help him, but he stopped breathing." The neighbors murmured words of comfort, none suspecting the truth lurking beneath Jessica's grief-stricken facade. Michael, however, wasn't done uncovering her web of lies. As the house emptied of visitors, Jessica returned to the bedroom, her demeanor transforming the moment she was alone. She stood before the mirror, adjusting her appearance and muttering to herself, "Jessica, you're brilliant. Soon, you'll have everything you deserve." She then reached for her phone and dialed a familiar number. Michael strained to hear as she spoke in a tone far removed from her earlier sorrow. "Ryan," she said sweetly, "it's done. The fool is dead. Finally, we can be together." Michael's heart clenched. Ryan, his best friend, was part of this too. The betrayal was deeper than he had imagined, each revelation a fresh wound. But his resolve grew stronger. He would not let them get away with this. Jessica ended the call, her voice filled with glee. "Come over soon," she instructed. "The neighbors are convinced, and everything is under control." As Jessica busied herself with packing documents and valuables, Michael took his chance. Slowly and silently, he reached for the phone she had carelessly left on the bedside table. With practiced precision, he dialed Tom, his flatmate and trusted ally. "Tom," Michael whispered urgently, "listen carefully. Jessica thinks I'm dead. She's plotting with her mother and Ryan to steal everything. I need your help." Tom's voice was steady despite the shock. "What do you need me to do?" "I'll drop my briefcase out the window," Michael explained. "It has all the important documents. Take it to a safe place and call my mother. Tell her everything I've told you and ask her to act like she believes Jessica's story. I need time to gather evidence." Tom agreed without hesitation. Minutes later, Michael slipped the briefcase out the window. He heard Tom's car engine roar to life, a small reassurance amidst the chaos. Jessica returned to the room shortly after, unaware of what had transpired. She paused to glance at Michael's lifeless form, then resumed her preparations with a self-satisfied air. Hours later, Linda arrived, her presence amplifying the tension in the house. Together, Jessica and her mother reviewed the documents and discussed their next steps. "What's next?" Jessica asked eagerly. Linda replied with calculated precision. "We'll call his family tomorrow and let them take care of the body. By the time an autopsy is done, they'll believe it was poison from work." Just as we planned. Michael listened, anger bubbling beneath his calm exterior. Their cold efficiency. Their lack of remorse, it was almost too much to bear. The next day, Jessica made the dreaded call to Michael's mother. Feigning uncontrollable grief. "Mama," she wailed. "Michael is gone. He came home complaining of stomach pains. And before I could help, he passed away." Michael's mother played her part perfectly, expressing shock and heartbreak. "I'll come immediately," she said, her voice trembling. When Michael's family arrived, Jessica's performance reached new heights. She clung to his mother, crying about her lost husband and the life they had planned together. Linda joined in, her own tears a convincing act of maternal sorrow. But Michael's mother knew the truth. With Tom's help, she had learned of Jessica and Linda's plan and was determined to protect her son. As the family gathered around Michael's body, his mother whispered to him, "Stay strong, my boy. We'll make sure justice is served." Michael's resolve deepened. Jessica and her accomplices thought they had won, but they hadn't counted on his determination to expose them. Soon, their betrayal would be laid bare for all to see. The day of Michael's funeral dawned, somber and overcast. Jessica, dressed in black, played the role of the grieving widow to perfection. Her cries echoed through the gathering as mourners arrived, offering condolences and heartfelt words. Linda stood beside her, the picture of a heartbroken mother-in-law, while Ryan lingered in the background, his presence unnoticed by most but not by Michael's family. Michael's mother watched the charade silently, her anger tempered by a calm resolve. She knew the truth and had played along to ensure justice would be served. The family pastor stood at the front, preparing to deliver the eulogy. The atmosphere was heavy, a mix of sorrow and unease. Just as the service began, the sound of sirens pierced the air. Heads turned toward the commotion as a convoy of black cars pulled up to the event. Whispers rippled through the crowd, speculation ranging from a prominent guest to an unexpected interruption. The cars came to a halt, and the doors opened. Out stepped Michael, dressed in black from head to toe, his face calm but resolute. Gasps filled the air as mourners stumbled back, some even screaming in shock. "Ghost!" someone cried, their voice breaking the stunned silence. Jessica froze, her face draining of color as she locked eyes with Michael. Her body betrayed her panic, she couldn't move, couldn't speak. Linda grabbed her arm, whispering frantically, "Stay calm. It's not him, it can't be." Michael walked forward, his steps deliberate, his presence commanding the attention of every person in attendance. "It's not a ghost," he said, his voice steady but filled with an unmistakable edge. "It's me. I'm very much alive." The crowd, still reeling, began to gather their wits. Slowly, they returned to their seats, curiosity overpowering their initial fear. Jessica, Linda, and Ryan stood rooted to the spot, their minds racing to make sense of what they were seeing. Michael turned to face the pastor, nodding in acknowledgement before addressing the crowd. "Thank you all for coming today. I apologize for the unexpected twist, but I felt it was necessary to reveal the truth in the presence of so many witnesses." He paused, letting his words sink in, then continued. "Over the past few days, I've learned a devastating truth. My wife, Jessica, conspired with her mother, Linda, and my so-called best friend, Ryan, to take my life." The crowd erupted into murmurs, disbelief evident in every face. Jessica's carefully constructed facade began to crumble. Her hands trembled as she stammered, "That's a lie. He's making it up." Michael raised a hand, silencing her. "I have evidence," he said, his voice cutting through the noise. "Recordings of their conversations, proof of the poison they intended to use, and witness statements. Everything has been handed over to the authorities." At that moment, police officers entered the venue, their presence a stark contrast to the solemnity of the occasion. Michael gestured toward Jessica, Linda, and Ryan. These are the people who tried to kill me. Officers, please do your duty. The conspirators' protests were loud and frantic as the officers moved in. Jessica fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Michael, please, she begged, her voice cracking. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was lost. Save it. Michael interrupted, his tone cold. I gave you everything. Jessica. My love. My trust. My life. And this is how you repay me? Linda attempted to argue, her voice rising in desperation. We didn't mean for it to go this far. It was all a mistake. Michael shook his head, his expression hard. A mistake is spilling coffee. Linda. This was calculated. Cold-blooded betrayal. Ryan, silent until now, muttered, I'm sorry. Man. I was weak. Michael ignored him, turning back to the crowd. Let this be a lesson to us all. Betrayal can come from the people you trust the most. But justice has a way of finding its mark. As Jessica, Linda, and Ryan were led away in handcuffs, the crowd sat in stunned silence. Michael's words hung in the air, a stark reminder of the fragility of trust and the resilience of the human spirit. Though his heart was heavy, Michael felt a sense of closure. He had uncovered the truth and ensured that those who wronged him would face the consequences. But the scars of betrayal would take time to heal, and the road ahead would be long. For now, he focused on the only thing he could control, moving forward. As Michael watched the police van drive away, carrying Jessica, Linda, and Ryan to face the justice they deserved, a heavy sense of relief washed over him. The weight of betrayal was still fresh, but so was the clarity that came with knowing he had survived and uncovered the truth. He had loved deeply and trusted blindly, but this experience taught him a profound lesson: love must be balanced with wisdom, and trust must be earned. Michael stood tall, ready to rebuild his life, knowing he was stronger than ever before. Justice had prevailed, and while the scars of this ordeal would remain, they would serve as a reminder to tread carefully in matters of trust and love. Thank you for joining us for this story of resilience and justice. Don't forget to subscribe to Life Stories for more tales that inspire, teach, and resonate with the human spirit. See you in the next video.